Morning, everyone. What's going on? Why is everyone in the chat already? It's 10 to 7 still. I'm starting early because the chat is full. What's going on, everyone? Was there a problem with YouTube this morning? With the timing? I thought I had 10 more minutes to go before the stream started. Came from Julian. Wow, look at all these people from Julian. What's going on? Lots of new faces. Someone sent us... Was Julian streaming this morning? Oh, did I miss a Julian stream? Oh, Julian's streaming. Oh, really? Oh, no. Let's find out what Julian's doing. How do I do this? Julian's also live streaming. Well, I'm happy to cancel. Why can't I get to my Oh wow, internet's slow this morning. Yeah, I'm early because everyone was in my chat. Julian, don't end it. Don't end it. Julian just ended it, did he? I don't look that sick to... Okay, there's no way. Oh, Julian, sorry, mate. I didn't know you were streaming. I started early because my chat was full of people. And people were saying, what's going on with the timing? Okay, there are so many new people in the chat. Hello, everyone. What was your stream about, Julian? Oh, I can't believe I missed it. That was your amusing plan to send people my way. Thank you. I don't even know. I'm not going to be able to say hi to everyone. Have I got 102 watching already? What is going on? Wow, my mind is blown. And you couldn't have joined at the worst possible stream. I'm sick as a dog. I've got my tissues next to me. Kleenex, good branding. Kleenex, if you want to throw me some money. Sponsorship. I am so drugged up, it's not funny. And, okay, I don't even know how... So, to everyone that's new, welcome. It's awesome to have you here. To everyone that isn't new, to my regulars, or that have just been here a few times, welcome back. This is nuts, a tissue unboxing video. We could... it's already open, sorry. Wow, why is it really bright? I need to turn some lighting down, maybe. Whoop, oh, the wrong way. A bit blown out. Yeah, it's already open, sorry. And I'll from a recommendation point of view, very good tissues. They're aloe vera. No, yeah, aloe vera and oh god, that blowout of the light. Aloe vera and vitamin E. But I don't know if you can see or not, my nose, how red I am. I've just, my skin is killing me on my nose. Anyway, Julian's sick too. Is Julian sick? Yeah, you know what? I think Brian is sick. Is Dave here? Yep. Dave Darko. Dave's sick, I think. There's quite a few sick streamers at the moment. I don't know. We all seem to be sick at the same time, yet we're all at different places around the world, which is really bizarre. There's no way I can go back. Exposure is off. Yeah, no, it's a crappy Logitech webcam. There's not a lot of exposure settings. Wow. Yeah, I've got autofocus off, but yeah, there's no real good exposure settings. So for my main camera that I use here is a DSLR, so that's fine. Anyway, Julian says this is a good channel to follow. Is this true? I'm a little biased. Don't you think, asking me that question? Yeah, I think it's a good channel to follow. Yeah, wow, I can't believe. So what's on the agenda? Well, I was actually going to have a pretty low-key, short stream today, honestly. Um, because I've been pretty sick for the last few days, and I've been not doing anything. I've actually been designing PCBs, which yeah, I was going to like show you the stuff I've been designing, and which I haven't got yet. So some of them haven't been ordered, some of them are being made now. They haven't shipped yet. Some are shipping today. It was going to be pretty low key, and I figured there wouldn't be many people joining today because of my thumbnail, but clearly, wow. The flu Cambridge RC PCB. Yeah, they're sending out the flu in the box with everyone. No, I'm not doing 4 hours today. I don't know if Scott's here, so this chat's going past so fast. Hey, Alex. Look, anyway, hi, everyone. Sorry, it's too late for me to call out everyone. Because it's just too many people here. But it's awesome to have you all here. I'm a software guy. I'm a hardware and a software guy. I've got a game development background. So I was making games and I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And yes, you can get sick from clicking the thumbnail, so be careful. And started tinkering with hardware again. I did when I was a kid. And I've been, yeah, playing with hardware since. And I design open source hardware, and I'm trying to make a living out of designing hardware and selling hardware. I'm not really trying to make a living out of my YouTube channel because that's pretty much impossible these days. So yeah, I've been designing some shields for my Tiny Pico. And I guess there's a whole bunch of people here that don't even know what the Tiny Pico is. Wow. If I at any moment have to mute and go running to blow my nose or something, I apologise. Any work with a 6502 or Z80? No. So I do modern hardware. Don't get me wrong, I had probably the first Amiga 1000 in Victoria when they came out. 64 before that. I'm a retro computer guy for sure. I've got an Amiga 1200 and two 64s in my garage, but I play with modern hardware. So I play with stuff like... let me switch cameras. Wow, that is not very straight. I should straighten that. So this is... Let me just play with the lighting a bit. Get some more light. There we go. Can I get a bit closer? So I design stuff like this. Well, all sorts of stuff. 6502 is modern. Yes, I'm playing around with modern microcontrollers. So this is called my Tiny Pico, which is it's an ESP32 development board, a really small one, like it's as big as my thumb, type small. So it's got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, two 240 megahertz cores. Anyway, yeah, I design stuff like this, and then I'm designing shields at the moment for it, so that there's a Tiny Pico plugged into the back. I do, as I said, more modern type stuff using microcontrollers. Where's the valve plug-in? Yeah, sure. I did my fair share of assembler, 6500 assembler and 68000 assembler back in the day. But yeah, when PC started taking over, I kind of moved away from the Amiga scene and moved into the PC scene, unfortunately. I totally regret it now. Whoa, that is hot. Do anything analog? No, I don't do a lot of analog. I'll be honest with you. And if that's a killer, if that's the end of your journey with me, then that's cool. Did I just gain 50 subscribers? I don't know. I haven't looked at my subscriber count. Where's my subscriber count? I don't know what's going on. Make me have one. What? Okay, the chat's going past very fast. I'm kind of losing track of what's going on. Yeah, lots of people saying Julian sent you. For everyone that's here because of Julian, thank you so much, mate. That's really generous of you. Yes, my sub count's just gone nuts. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's great to have you all here, and any retail links Are we talking about retail links for my Tiny Pico? So Tiny Pico is going to be on Crowd Supply. I do have a Crowd Supply link, but the actual campaign's not up yet. But you can register for interest. Wow, let me just see if I can do this. Really, I've got such a stuffy head today. I'm really drugged up. I feel like worst possible stream for you guys to join. I'm gonna have to. So this is the Crowd Supply link. So it'll be launching on Crowd Supply soon. I don't have a date yet, but soon. Well, I really appreciate it, Julian. It was very generous of you to send people this way. Ben's starting to get a sore throat just by listening. I'm sorry. Well, look, to any chat that I've missed, I really apologise. Hey, Stevie-O. Yeah, I'm a bit stuffy. It's just man flu, but it's I don't know, it's debilitating. It takes me about a few months of view before subscribing. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's okay. Well, I've only been streaming. I've only been on YouTube for just over a year, but I've pushed out a lot of content, and I hope that most of my content's pretty good. You know, I spend a lot of effort working on my videos, and I stream every week. I am from Melbourne, so that's pretty south east Australia, I guess. Yes. Man flu is real, but let's face it, it's just a head cold, right? But it's just guys tend to not be able to function very well with their head cold, which, yeah. May's watching with the mask. No worries. I should have put a mask on. I've got some carbon ones I can wear. So yes, I've been designing some shields. So I thought I'd show you what I've been working on, and maybe even design another one on the stream today. No, not quite yet. Davy Jones is in Sydney, so he's about 10 hours away from me driving, or 45 minutes on an aeroplane. Ooh, Sideband Samurai was with the US Navy. Wow, I feel like I'm not going to do anyone justice with the chat today. See a lot of people saying hi, so hi to everyone. Western Australia has no bugs. I don't know if Davy's dried out his lab yet. Poor guy, seriously. So okay, I'm just going to be grabbing the tissues now and then, okay, and I'll mute each time I do it, and I'll even turn around so you don't have to watch me do it, or I'll switch cameras. I've taken a whole bunch of cold and flu tablets, so they should kick in soon. What's the flashing light on my bench behind my right side? Flashing light. Oh, that's a monitor. There's a couple of standing desks over there. It's very dark outside. So this here, that's a window. That's open. It is really dark outside. It's 7 o'clock in the morning here. Can OBS mute or change source when switching scenes? I have no idea. But I mute it so you don't have to listen to me sneeze. Yeah, Dave's had a real bad run. You know, he got broken into after he moved into his new place, and now he got flooded. It's pretty sad. Hello, Scotland. Hello everywhere. I saw a London go past before. Obviously, there's a lot of European people who or can't even say that about England anymore, can I? No, you're not part of the EU anymore, or almost not. Do I live near a port? No, I don't. That was my nose. It was my nose foghorn. Oh, this is going to be a completely disjointed stream. Oh well. I'm going to do the best I can do today, I think, with the amount of chatter. Do recommend standing desks over sitting. So, I don't know. I moved to standing desks for my game dev about, I don't know, 3 years ago or so. Because, like, you know, all the slouching and everything on a chair. But standing desk is hard when you're doing intricate stuff. If you're just looking at a screen and you're working, it's fine. But I find it really difficult to, you know, be hunched over working on something, like, you know, building something, doing fine, like doing soldering or just, you know, or parts placement at a standing desk. You really move around a lot on a standing desk, and so I find sitting, I can focus more. So I jump around a lot between the two. Talking about Tiny Pico and your shields, I'm trying to, but there's lots of questions going past. Who got an extension? What? Okay, so so you've all seen my display shield, but I've got a new version, which I will show you now, although it's got a mistake on it. So, well, it's got 2 mistakes on it, actually. Let me load that up. Okay, here we go. So, go to my desktop. So I use Eagle, letting everyone know. No Eagle bashing in the stream, please. So my standing desks, they're height adjustable, so we used to sit sometimes. Oh no, what was it? I hope that wasn't an Eagle comment, Julian. So yeah, like I used to sit with them sometimes and then stand with them. Oh, I know, to the mistakes. Yeah, mistake, I don't believe it. So my shield works. So just to be clear, I built this on my live stream last week. I'll actually show you, I've done some cool stuff with it. I'll plug it in and show you in a moment it working. So my revision 1 of the shield was fantastic, but after chatting with everyone on the stream last week, we decided to do a few extra things. So I added, what did I add? Well, so on the front there is now, let me just switch to, sometimes I can switch using this and sometimes, come on Eagle, sometimes I can switch, sometimes I can't. Let's turn off Doco. So on the front I've added a slide switch over here. For those that don't know, it's basically a shield that's got an OLED on the front, or an LCD, a 128 by 64 LCD. It's got 4 input buttons. There's a reset button on the left. It's basically what's here now, right? You've got these little buttons. It's designed to be small because the Tiny Pico is very small. So what and underneath here there's an IMU, a 3-axis IMU, just here. And this up here is a light sensor. So basically what you can do is, like, it's designed to be a prototyping board more than, let's say, like a gaming board or something. But what I added was a switch over here, and I added a JST connector on the back. Well, let me switch to the back. Here's the question. Yes, it did. So the Tiny Pico itself has the ability to stick a JST on the bottom. Just like that. And it's on the bottom, obviously, because it's a very small board. But when it's plugged into the shield, it's not in a fantastic place if you wanted to stick this in a case. So what I did was, and there's also no ability to switch it on and off because the JST is connected directly to the Tiny Pico. So what I did was stuck another JST connector on the back of the board, and with a switch, so you can power the whole thing on and off by plugging just a LiPo battery into that. So you can stick it into a case or something. I made the shield a little bit bigger, and I've added screw holes on the corners so you can mount it. And then what I also did, and the jury's out on this one about how good it's going to be. I wish I could have it not use Doco every time. I've added a place for a piezo buzzer that sits underneath the Pico, just inside here. And it's just a short height one, so there's enough room, because the Tiny Pico also has RAM, PS RAM on the back, extra 4 meg PS RAM. So yeah, so the buzzer will just sit inside. Now obviously a piezo is pretty crap for sound. And I did some experimenting actually with playing some sound. I've used IO25 on the ESP32, which is a DAC, so you can do digital analog with it, but obviously doing that through a piezo doesn't sound great. But overall though, the question is, will the piezo be loud enough when it's on the back underneath? Who knows? I don't know. So I made it a bit bigger, but the 2 mistakes I made, which I fixed in this version now, was The first one was I made a spelling mistake, which was really silly. And funny enough, it's actually on the first revision as well, which no one picked up. I'll show you. See if you can all pick up the spelling mistake. A few of you might know what it is now. Let me just switch cameras. Nope, wrong camera. See if anyone can pick it up while I have a bit of a drink. You should have added a vibrating motor right beside the buzzer. Yeah. Might be taking a bit far. Yes, unexpected. I couldn't spell unexpected. I don't know what I did, but there's an extra C on unexpected. Whoops. So the boards that are being made right now have got a spelling mistake. Make something what? Yeah, make something non-English. Yeah, whoops. Anyway. So the boards are being made right now, which are in black. Yay! Yay for JLC doing free color. They're the one that I just showed you, but they've got the spelling mistake on it. And the other mistake, well, it is a mistake and it isn't a mistake. So, how many people here play with the ESP32? Wish we could do a poll. YouTube, can you add polls to the chat so we could do polls? That'd be awesome. My spell check does not work. That's funny. That is very funny. I'm the second world's worst speller because I haven't met the worst yet. It's more that I'm just lazy and I don't check one properly. ESP32, yes, there's a few people here that use ESP32s. Okay, so with an ESP32, doesn't matter which ESP32 it is, there are two ADCs. Actually, what I might do is... Okay, just bear with me 1 second, and I'll show you. Click, 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 lots of clicking. Okay, so this is my pinout for my Tiny Pico. This is the card that you get inside the package. So it's got all the pinouts on there. So the ESP32's got two ADCs, ADC1 and ADC2. And you can see there's a couple of IO here, 32 and 33, that's on ADC1. There's actually a bunch of IO that's on ADC1. And there's a bunch that are on ADC2. Now, I'll call it a bug because it's going to be fixed. It's fixable and it's going to be fixed, but it hasn't been fixed yet by Espressive, where the Wi-Fi uses ADC2. So if you initialize the Wi-Fi at all, it breaks anything that's connected to ADC2 that you want to do like analog reading from. And it's on the list to be fixed, but it hasn't been fixed yet. So I, unfortunately, used GPIO 4 to read the light sensor in the new version of the board, which works perfectly fine, and I'll show you it working in a moment. But last night I was playing with some Wi-Fi stuff on my Shield, and as soon as you turn the Wi-Fi on, it kills ADC2. What happened to Tiny Pinout 2 and Tiny Pinout 1? Well, so... Okay, I'll show you, actually, if you want to see. That's Tiny Pinout 1. There's some pin changes on that one. And the original was... Do I have it here? There we go. The original was black boards. We're not going to go into the whole rigmarole of what happened with black boards. Let's just say JLC PCB can't do black boards the same way they can do green boards, which is a shame. So we're now up to revision 3, which is this one. Anyway, so let me show you what I did last night. This is pretty cool. Let's go back to the camera. I'm going to plug this in. Also want to show you this little monstrosity. I've got a Tiny Pico here with the RAM pin, the power pin, lifted off the board, soldered to a jumper, so I can power the the RAM or unpower the RAM when I'm testing stuff. How cool is that? Yes. Anyway, so let me plug this in. What's 10 bits? What's James? Hello, James. What are you posting 10 bits? I don't know. So, USB cable, please. So I'm writing some... Oops. Oh, didn't get to show you. Let me try that again. Okay, I'll show you now. Let me just make sure it's in focus. So, there's a few things I've done. The first one, check this out. Reset. Tiny Pico! Yay, I got a Tiny Pico logo. Yeah, the RAM hack's pretty cool. I'll explain why I was doing that soon. So, I've got a few things on here. I'm running a bit of like a demo. Consider using a jumper for the RAM power. No. Just wait. We'll talk about that soon. And you'll understand why I've got that wire there. And let's face it, there's no room for a jumper here anywhere. Right? And this version actually has a solder jumper. But it doesn't work. And that's why I'll talk about that in a moment. So right now, I've got this reading here is actually coming from this light sensor on the top. So if I put my finger over it, you see that? It's a light sensor. If I get it closer to my light, see it's going up and down. So, that's really cool. And what I can do, I've got on button 1, I can turn the light sensor on and off. You see at the bottom it flashes the different buttons when I push them. So, I've been playing around with... I'll show you this as well. Before I show you the Wi-Fi thing, I did this as well. Now, remember I told you there's an accelerometer on here. It's only a 3-axis one, which means it's got... Oh, is Scott here? Hey, Scott. How you doing? So, it's only a 3-axis accelerometer, which means it's got no gyro in it. And, but I mentioned on my stream last week that you can actually do, like, a gyro. You can calculate stuff with it. So number 2 turns this on. So right now you can see, it's very sensitive. It thinks I'm at 0, 0. What I've got is heading and pitch. See this? See it rotating? So it'll go all the way to 90 degrees. It'll actually go to 180, but you can't see the screen anymore. See that? And if I go forward and backward. So I've got heading and pitch on a 3-axis accelerometer. How cool is that? Sorry, not heading, pitch and roll. Pitch and roll, sorry. I can't actually do heading. Hey, Andy. Well, I'm glad you're here now. Thanks for joining. Glad to hear you've been watching my previous ones. Yes, it's an ESP32, so it can be done over the air. Absolutely. It's a full ESP32 development board. It's just really, really small. It's just over 30 millimeters by just under 18 millimeters. It's got onboard LiPo charging. It's got an APA 102 RGB LED in the corner. It's got extra 4 meg of RAM. It's got obviously option for a JST connector, and you can put the PH connector or you can fit a microblade connector. Do you all know what a microblade connector is? I'll show you one soon. Anyway, so yeah, so I've got this gyro. So what I'm doing, I'm writing like an example project for this. And right now I'm writing it in Arduino, and I'm also going to do a... in my class. Yes, it's very small. I'm also going to do a MicroPython version. So anyway, so I've got that on there, so you can turn them both on and off. And the other thing, I'll see if I can do it. If I hold both buttons down at the same time, you see 2 numbers popped up? 1, 2, oops. 1, 2. You can actually do all 4 buttons at the same time. So there's no blocking at all on the buttons. Anyway, so I had my light sensor working, and then I did this. Ready? Number 4 turns on Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi connecting to 3 sprockets. Oh, can everyone see that? It says Wednesday. It's got the time. Oh, it's going over the little icon a bit, and there's a Wi-Fi icon. So you can use button 4 to turn Wi-Fi on and off. Just for fun. But when I turn the Wi-Fi on, look what happened to the light sensor. It's dead. And even if I turn Wi-Fi off, the light sensor's dead. Because of ADC2. If I hit reset, the light sensor works again because reset clears the ADC states. Good idea because it has 6 off. What's a good idea? Lightning Stalker. I missed the comment. Is there a way to disable the radio hardware? Well, yes, you can, but once, and absolutely, that's what I'm doing right now. Even when I turn Wi-Fi on and then turn it off, it actually shuts down the Wi-Fi, but it's too late by that point. It's already played with the ADC2 and nothing you can do about it. So it's a known issue and it's on Espressive's list to fix. How do I know that? Because I have contacts at Espressive. So it will be fixed at some point, but not in time for the Shield to come out. So the next revision of my Shield, I've moved it to IO32 instead, which is on ADC1, and that problem won't happen anymore. So the reason it's not working is because there's 2 ADCs inside the ESP32. ADC1 and ADC2, and half the I/O that can access the ADC are on ADC1 and half are on ADC2. The Wi-Fi uses ADC2 for its calibration. So as soon as it does that and it takes over the ADC, nothing else can use the ADC anymore. So that's why. And I knew that, and I knew it. But I wasn't planning on doing anything with Wi-Fi for this. So that's why I wired up the way I was. But then I thought, well, hang on. Why not? I don't know what other people are going to do with this. So yeah, so I've been playing around with that. I thought that was pretty cool. I want to do a graphical representation of... I was going to reset it. I want to do a graphical representation of the light sensor, like a bar. And I'm going to do a graphical representation of the pitch and roll. Should be not just numbers. So it won't be it won't be a library, an Arduino library, but it'll be just a code example, I think. It can't really be a library because it uses a whole bunch of other libraries. This is still using the Adafruit graphics library, by the way. So yeah. So that's pretty cool. So I was working on that. And for those that didn't realize, at the back there's a whole bunch of pins broken out. On the new version I've also added I2C broken out as well. And 32 isn't on there anymore because that's being used by the light sensor. 1.21G, 121, what is it? What? But does it need 1.21 GW? What is 1.21 GW? That sounds familiar. I don't know what that means. Check out Ticket 440 repro for more details about the what. Thank you, Matt. Hello, Matt. Matt is here. Anyway, so that's Shield. So revision 2 is on its way. It's shipping to me today, but it's got the still got the spelling mistake and it's got the Wi-Fi bug. I've also I've ordered a whole bunch of new screens to go with the Shields, and they're all black. So black Shields instead of blue. Sorry, black screens and black boards. They're gonna look really cool. Okay, so no, that is not alcoholic, by the way. Hello, Rob BTTF. I don't know what that means. 1.21 gigahertz. What's 1.21 gigahertz though? I don't remember where that's from. Sorry. Alcohol might burn away the bacteria, but I have a family channel, so me drinking on my stream doesn't look great. Sometimes my kids watching, and would make me. Oh, of course. So I knew I sounded familiar. The 1.21 gigawatts, but yes, okay. Yes, yeah. You don't want to see me drunk. Not a good stream thing. Okay, so that's that one, and then so I started playing around. I always wanted to do just some basic shields, and I also wanted to provide some files for other people to make shields if they want to. So I started off by just making. Oh, come on, OBS. Desktop. Okay, so I just made just a standard empty Tiny Pico shield, which I'm gonna. It's gonna be open source. You'll be able to just download it. You'll be able to make your own shields from it if you want to. We're talking about MPU 60,000. Right. So I was gonna put an MPU 6050 on the board, and my first revision of the shield actually had one, and I've got a whole bunch of 6050s here. The thing with the 6050s are to get them legitimately, I'm not talking about fakes or whatever from Ali, they're more expensive than right now I'm using a LIS 3 HD. They're more expensive, they're a bigger package, and they're just a little bit harder to wire up and work with. And so, yeah, that's why I went with the Lish instead. And, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the fact that you can still do a gyro with it in software is pretty cool, I think. No, my OBS doesn't freeze. When I said come on OBS, it was because I couldn't find the icon to get to the switcher. Yeah, I don't know why your OBS was freezing for you. That was pretty frustrating for you on your stream the other day. What light sensor I'm using? I'm using the ALS... What is it? Oh, I have to go back. It is... I can never remember the name of it. The ALS PT19. It's just an analog light sensor. Analog transistor light sensor. How's that for a terrible schematic? I will clean it all up before I release it. I promise. I will, I promise. So, yeah, I made this empty shield, which is really not exciting. But it's the basis point for me for all my shields, right? What am I missing in the chat? About you soldering the PCB, you just got from JLC PCB. Oh, that's Celvatronics, okay. BC108 is light sensitive if you cut the top off. Right, so I'm going to supply them as a kit, and part of the instructions in the kit is going to be, okay, now place it down now, saw the top off. Get a Dremel and saw the top off. Yeah, no. So then the next thing I made, I'm just going to move on, is, and it's probably going to be useless, I think, maybe, because it's so small, but I made a proto board. It's like a prototyping board. Thanks, Unlost. So, and the reason I think it might be useless is just because it's so small, right? I mean, if you think about, oops, zoom, power of zoom. If you think about it, like, here's the tiny Pico, so you don't get a lot of prototyping space. Does I still have a light sensitive issue? I have no idea, Adam. So, but I thought, well, you know, if I'm going to do a prototyping board, yeah, you got 6x4 pins for prototyping, 4 pins for ground, 4 pins for 3.3, and I don't even really have enough room to break out any of the side pins. So if I do another row to break out the side pins, you're only left with 2x6 in the middle, which is not fantastic. But what I did do was put 2 buttons on there, so 15 and 14 are going to have buttons on there. So you don't, like, a lot of times when you're using a proto board, you stick a button on there. So that'll be done for you, and there's also a reset button. Is there any real advantage of a prototype board when someone can use a perf board? No, well, no, there isn't really. But the fact is, so these are going to be given away with some of my packs on Crowd Supply. It's open source. Am I ever going to sell these? No, probably not, but I'm going to give them away anyway as part of the packs. And I feel like, you know, that it's just it could be useful, potentially. I don't know. It might not be, but it was an easy thing to build. Someone mentioned surface mount pads. Yeah, I could do surface mount pads. I could make just a complete surface mount version of it. Right, so I've got another board idea where I'm going to stick some Grove connectors on there. I've actually got some Grove connectors, but they're vertical. I want to get some 90-degree ones. So that's another board I absolutely can do. Is just make a shield that just has, you know, 4 or 5 Grove connectors on there. Why not 8x4 rather than 6x4? Because I wanted some space to put some labels in, and I didn't feel like an extra row on each side was going to make that much of a difference. I don't know. The fact that it's going to be open source, anyone can make any shield they want to. And I might make a bigger one at some point, I don't know. But it was just, I don't know. It was something that I always wanted to do, so I did it. I put it together, and then the plan is that every shield... Oh, how about a tiny Pico to feather adapter? Ah, Paul, were you not on that stream? Anyway, yeah, I thought about that as well. There's some issues with the feather, with the ESP, and we can talk. I'm happy to talk about that. So every... Wow, my head is stuffy. Wow. So what the plan is, every shield that comes, that you get, however it comes. So that, yeah, the Tiny Pico comes with headers, with male headers, but my plan is every shield is going to come with some of these. But not this long. These are 15mm ones. I've ordered a whole bunch of 11mm. And so the idea is that you'll have the option of putting these on your Tiny Pico instead. The reason I'm using 11mm ones is because I worked out that, if I can get this in, wow, must be a bent pin. Yes, there's a bent pin. Try that again. So I worked out that with the with the JST connector underneath, right, 11mm is enough that you can still put it in a breadboard. By the way, the Tiny Pico is designed to be breadboard friendly. So it uses very few, well, it's a very narrow, right? So let me just pull these out. So the idea is that the 11mm ones will still plug into a breadboard and give you quite a bit of attachment space. But I'm not going to ship the Tiny Pico itself with these. They'll just have male headers, I think. But any shield that you get will have these. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet. I haven't decided. Core store for not figure. What can't be core store? Oh, right, the lol, Paul. Okay, sure. I'm going to quickly talk about what this cable is. So on my, did you find a source of press fit pins? I did not. No, I did. I lied. I found one source, and boy are they expensive, and it's not going to happen. For me to supply enough press fit pins to be able to, for the whole Tiny Pico, would cost as much as the Tiny Pico, the board. Yeah, no. Press fit's very, very expensive. Maybe you can make a NeoPixel shield. So the top shield is just matrix. Yes, well, I was actually going to design one of those today. Mate, cool. I still can't remember how to pronounce your name. I apologise. If I ever pronounce anyone's name wrong, I apologise. So the reason I did this is here, just very quickly, is so on my latest revision, I stuck a jumper on here to turn the power off. And it actually doesn't work. So the problem is, you can't have a permanent power off on this because you still get some parasitic power coming in from the data lines. And so in MicroPython, and likely in Arduino as well, what happens is you can't use the RAM without the power plugged in, but it can still detect that the RAM's there. So it finds the RAM and it tries to do a RAM test on it, and it fails the RAM test. And in MicroPython, you get a boot loop. Tony, I don't know when it's starting. I'm still working with them on the different tiers. I've been working with them on pricing. One of the dilemmas I've had, when I say dilemma, like it's not a fault of crowd supply, it's just one of their rules, which has thrown me a bit, is that on crowd supply, anything that you list has to include free shipping to the US. Right? So the price, like, that doesn't mean you give free shipping, like you got to build it into the price, which means the base price of my board goes up for everyone, but in the US you get free shipping and international people don't get free shipping. So I've had to, and so what some people do on crowd supply, which is up to them if they want to, is, so if they have an item and let's say it's, I'm just picking a number, right? It's $50 and includes free shipping to the US. Then it's $50 plus shipping international. And I feel like that's unfair. Like, I'm in Australia, I would have to pay $50 plus shipping to me. And the shipping's like $15. And I feel like, well, hang on, why am I paying shipping? Like, what about the shipping that the US people get for free? Now, they might be getting it for free, or they might be loading the price, I don't know. So I've had to work out what I think is a fair price for the Tiny Pico that includes free shipping for the US, and work out what the difference is going to be, so international people only pay the difference for their shipping, so it's fair for everyone. But working out an international rate for shipping for anyone internationally is hard, because there's different rates for different countries and all sorts of stuff. So I've had some problems working out my pricing. I still haven't got it finalised, so it's taking a bit more time than I was hoping for. Anyway, so to prevent the boot loop, yeah, I couldn't just use the jumper. So that's why I put this on here for testing. And I've actually got a solution now. So can't remember his name. I think Ivan, Igor. I apologise. Someone from Espressive jumped on my stream. No, on my I have news video last week, and mentioned that I could use VDD SDIO from here to power up and power down the RAM, which is a really clever idea. So that's what I'm doing. So the revision that I have being made right now, there's no more jumper, and there's obviously no wire, and the RAM shuts down in deep sleep and wakes up normally, and it solved all of my deep sleep problems, which is what I was trying to do this on the RAM for, because the RAM takes about 100 microamps in deep sleep, and I wanted to not charge people the 100 microamps in deep sleep when they can't use the RAM anyway in deep sleep. Okay, is there any reason I use Crowd Supply over others? Well, there isn't really. I mean, there's Indiegogo, but I think that's got a really terrible representation. And then there's Kickstarter. And Kickstarter they take a much higher percentage. They do no work as for the campaign, where Crowd Supply actually are actively involved with the campaign in terms of marketing and help and getting stuff together. And Kickstarter's just not a great place for electronics. There's just so many scams on there, and so many. I mean, a few people have had success on there. Sean Hodgkins has had success, but I just didn't feel like Kickstarter was the right place. And Crowd Supply is designed for hardware. There's a level of trust and stuff with Crowd Supply, and I get why they do their free shipping thing. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I even list stuff on Tindy with free shipping. It wasn't Ivan the Terrible. I think it was Igor. Ivan. I can't remember. I apologise. So, yeah, the Crowd Supply is the right place for the campaign. By the way, this is just hot water with some, it's not cordial, but just some flavouring. Yeah, so I had to test that. And of course, I don't have the right pin broken out. I tried, I can't get closer. A little bit closer. So, I tried wire wrapping to one of these pins. It's the second pin there, along the top. And every time I almost got a wire attached to it. No, it wasn't Ivan Miranda. Every time I almost got a wire attached to it, I pushed the Pico off. It was a nightmare. So I couldn't test it. The only way I could test it was to lift this pin, add power, and then simulate it by touching the 3-volt pin. Anyway, that was a pain. So, let's move on. The next shield. I'll show you the next shield. Well, there's only one other shield I've made so far, but I want to make some more. Yeah, no, Crowd Supply are really, really good. Don't get me wrong. Crowd Supply are great. They're active in the campaigns. They're supportive. Their focus is on really cool electronics and making it really, making successful campaigns for the people that go on there. So I'm not, I'm really, in no way am I saying anything bad about Crowd Supply. Don't be wrong. It's just that the free shipping thing. So here's the thing. The problem with free shipping. I'm just going to go back to a full screen. So it's not a rant. It's not a rant. The problem I have with free shipping. I get the idea. The idea for them is, hey, here's an item, and it's got free shipping, and I don't have to. It's a no-brainer. Then here's the price. Sometimes you'll go and look at a product and you go, oh, this is $20. Oh yeah, okay, I think I'll buy that. You go to order it. What? Another $15 to ship it? No way. And then you decide not to buy it. That's their reason. The reasoning is it becomes a no-brainer decision if it's got free shipping. And my problem is I wanted to try to work out a way of doing free shipping for everyone, right? But the only way I could do free shipping for everyone was that everyone pays the same price, and it's got to be the price that for the international people covers them for shipping. So then people in the US were being penalised because of rates to international. And I can't do anything about shipping costs, right? I absolutely can't do anything about it. It's not like I'm loading up the shipping price to make more money off shipping. Shipping international is expensive. And, yeah, so I get why they do it. But I don't know. Like I'm not in the US. If I was living in the US, I probably wouldn't care. But I don't live in the US. I'm in Australia, and if I want to buy one of my own products, I'm gonna have to pay, more and for international shipping, which is just a bit frustrating. Does it offer discount codes? No, I don't think they do offer discount codes. Yeah, so that's the thing, right? It just threw me. I've been spending a lot of time trying to work out a fair price for everyone. I've even dropped my starting price of what I wanted to sell Tiny Pico for to make it better. Like I'm gonna make nothing on these, like pretty much. I mean, forgetting about my labor stuff, which isn't being covered at all. I'm going to make so little on these that it's not going to be worth my while, right? It's going to be a break-even campaign if I'm lucky. But that's okay. Like I never did this as a project to retire off. Like it wasn't my plan. But I also didn't want to lose money off it. And right now it's going to be really close, really close. Okay, so back to I want to show you one because this is show you the next shield. The next shield's kind of cool. The next shield is, if I can find it... I went through a lot of different versions, but this is the one I've settled on. It is a little RTC shield. And it's little because it's short. Thanks, Jan. No, I can't do a reship hound. Right, so the other thing with Crowd Supply, just to let you know, is they have to ship everything. It's part of their policy. So I was hoping what I could do was I could ship them all the US orders, they could ship those, and I could ship everyone else from here. And that would mean that I could I could probably do cheaper shipping from here than they could do internationally from there. Possibly, by a few dollars anyway. But I can't do that. They have to ship all of them. All of them or none of them. And if I ship them all from here, then the US shipping price goes up massively. So yeah, I can see you selling loads of these at cost. Then your followers selling them off as resellers. I don't think so. There's no margin in them. Yes, the Crowd Supply. Well, they don't have to. Either I can do all the shipping and fulfillment myself, or they do the shipping and fulfillment. But I can't split it half. Yeah, the GST, look, yeah. Well, I don't want to go on that. Anyway, so I'm going back to this. RTC Shield. A piece of these created ourselves. Well, yes, the Tiny Pico is open source. Well, it will be. When the campaign goes live, I will be releasing all the files. See that logo? The Tiny Pico will be open source. But you need to be able to build one of these, right? I mean, it's all 0402. It's pretty small. It'll cost you way more to build one yourself than it will to buy them. Just letting you know. So, if you want to do them yourselves, sure, it will be open source. But, yeah. Everything about the campaign will be open source. So I can sell them anywhere I want to after the backers get their things. So it's exclusive on Crowd Supply until all the backers get their, or until I've shipped. And once it's shipped, I can then list them on Tindy and I can put them anywhere else. And you can still continue to buy them from Crowd Supply post campaign. So yeah. Okay, back to. Right, I'm not comparing. When you say your ESP, you're talking about the one you just bought or one you're making. Right, I'm not competing with China, so everyone knows here, this is not a Chinese board that you're going to get for $9, $7 with free shipping from China. That's not my space I'm competing with. So if that's what you're hoping for, not going to happen. Right? But then again, it's also orders of magnitude better than the ones you get from China. And how do I know? Because I've got a whole bunch of them. It's got lower power. It's got more on it. It's, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, back to this. It's a little RTC board. So it's got a battery. Let me go to the top. So it's got room for a little coin cell, and this uses a 1025 coin cell, not a bigger 2032 or whatever. Problem with open source nowadays is you have to keep them in the fridge. Yes, that's very funny in Better Hobbyist. That's very cool. So yeah, go to coin cell, and then this is using an MCP. Whoops. 7940N, which I don't know if anyone. It's actually quite funny. If anyone here follows Mick Make, for Mick Make's channel, his video the other day, his mailbag, he was also talking. He's using that on his Raspberry Pi UPS. So I did actually have a board built to use a DS3231, which I have stacks of already in stock, and it's a really great chip. And I was going to use it, but it's got, like, it takes like 200 microamps when it's running off the battery, if there's still VCC connected to it. But this little MCP guy only takes about 2 microamps. So the price is going to be, or my plan with the Tiny Picker was always going to be $20 US plus shipping. And that's still what it's going to be, but it's now going to be whatever the price is going to be, including shipping on US, which we're still trying to determine what that's going to be. But $20 US. It's cheaper than a Native Fruit, huzzah. And yeah, it's not even close to a Chinese board, and that's fine. I'm not interested in. I can't compete on that price. If I made 20,000 of these, I still can't compete on Chinese price. Why can't I sell them through Amazon? Well, I could sell them through Amazon. I could sell them anywhere once the crowd supply campaign is finished. Thanks, Unlost. I mean, just to be clear, hang on, let me just. For those that missed this bit or haven't seen it, hang on. One moment. I seem to have misplaced something. Sorry folks, I'm just looking for something. Ooh. Okay, I'm trying to. I've got a Wemos board somewhere I'm looking for, and I can't find my Wemos board. But like for the market that I'm trying to go for, just so we're clear, that's a Wemos D1 Mini, right? I mean, the Tiny Pico fits inside the pin space of a Wemos D1 Mini, right? I mean, that's a Nano, which obviously has got nothing on it, no Wi-Fi or anything, right? And that's a Feather. Like, it's a tiny, tiny board. It's designed for, and it's ultra low power. Like, it's 10 microamps or lower, and in deep sleep, running off a battery. And it's a different marketplace to the Wemos and to the stuff you can buy from China. The stuff you buy from China it's big. It's not necessarily low power. And it's, yeah, I don't know. It's, and this is, I mean, obviously it's fully Arduino and IDF compatible. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's, but it's also, it's like a first-class MicroPython board. Like, we spent a lot of effort with MicroPython and this, getting it, and the extra 4 meg of RAM is perfect for MicroPython. Because the general ESP32 doesn't have, well, it does, but you've only got like 120, 130k of RAM once MicroPython's loaded. Yeah, what I just missed. Yeah, but I can't do anything about the shipping, that's the point. Port manipulation, DDR port. The ESP32 doesn't have ports and pin registers the same way that the other microcontrollers do. Just be aware. Yeah, and the other thing I should mention on this is it's got a perfectly matched network. The Wi-Fi on this is phenomenal. Like, really, really good. I mean, you got Bluetooth as well. I generally don't use Bluetooth. But it's got a perfectly matching network for the Wi-Fi. So it's really great quality Wi-Fi, which you need if you're going to stick it inside a case or something, right? Okay, so back to the RTC. Distracted, big distraction. So this is a little RTC board, a shield that sits on the top. And I've got it so it only sits on half the board. Mainly because there was nothing really else to stick on the board. So it sits down on this end of the board, which leaves the antenna area free. And it's got a little coin cell, and it's using this little tiny RTC. And what I've also done, it's got what's called a multifunction pin. So I've connected the multifunction pin to GPIO 4, but there's also a solder jumper. So if you want to use 4 for something else, Chris, see you, Chris. Thanks for joining the stream, mate. I know you're super tired and busy. Have a good sleep. So if you want to use GPIO 4 for something else, you can just cut the jumper, but you can use it for the multifunction pin. And so the multifunction pin lets you do things like set alarms or make it do, yeah, all sorts of stuff. It's a pretty cool chip. So they're the 3 shields I've got at the moment. The display shield, the RTC shield, and the proto shield. And I do want to make some more shields. I thought about making a little RGB matrix shield. The real problem with an RGB matrix shield is there's not a lot of space for RGB LEDs here. Obviously, if I'm going to use 50/50s, they're too big. I'm only going to get like 2x4, maybe 2x5. I can use the 35/35s, and I could probably get 3x... Let's find out. Should we see how many we can fit? Now, ultimately, I can use the APA 102s, right? Which I'd probably prefer to use anyway, because they use a clock and data pin, which means you don't have any of that funky light flickering and don't have level shifting power issues that you get with the ESP32 with WS2812s. Well, yeah, I thought about doing a little LED shield, and I've got the smaller versions of those. If I can find where I put them. I'm really unprepared. As I said, I wasn't even going to stream today, so I'm totally unprepared. Do I have a little one in here? Oh, I've got a black one. I didn't realise I had a black one. That's cool. So these are the ones I've ordered, the black ones instead of these ones. Just going to look nicer with black. Anyway, so my original plan was I was going to... Oh, here it is. I was going to make one of these as a shield. And these are the colour screens. These are the 80x160. They call them IPS, but they're not IPS. They're whatever they are. They're not OLED, and they've got terrible viewing angles on them. Yes, the sun is coming up. You can see it's starting to get light outside. So what I actually did, I was going to make one. So I actually ordered some empty shields, some empty screens. The problem is, if I just let me grab another tiny Pico. Here's one that's got no RAM on it, so it's easy to place. So when I originally bought these, my original Tiny Pico revision 1 was a bit bigger than this. So now that it's smaller, there's really no place to stick the screen because of the pins. Like, that's pretty tight. So I thought this screen was going to be a perfect size screen originally. Do I have an original Tiny Pico? Let me see. Let me see if I can find you an original revision 1 Tiny Pico. Just for laughs. Just for laughs. Do sensor shields more than output, yeah. Well, yeah, so sensor shields, there's already someone working on a temperature sensor shield. So I'm leaving that for them for the moment. I'm hoping they're going to release that, at least as an open source file, if they don't make the boards themselves. Otherwise, I will make one. So yeah, temperature sensor shield, sure. And other sensors, a milli, I don't know what that is. So this is an original Tiny Pico, revision 1, my very first design. As you can see, it was a little bit bigger, a fraction shorter, it was wider. Foam pedal, clear solder and pins. Yeah, foam pad underneath, I guess, to lift it off. Yes, potential. So this was designed, obviously, to be able to, obviously there's a battery, there's a JST connector. This was designed to fit inside the pins quite nicely, and it was actually lengthwise designed to wrap around. So one of the reasons I had this shape was, see that? But what happened was, the NS Tiny Pico, what's NS? Oh, not so, right, the not so Tiny Pico. Still going to be ready on Crowd Supply than if ordered. Pick will save on shipping. Yeah, right, so the Crowd Supply, so the different pledge levels in Crowd Supply, there'll be a pledge level that'll be a Tiny Pico with a display shield. There'll be a pledge level with a Tiny Pico and an RTC shield, which obviously then saves on shipping. There'll be a 2-pack of these, of Tiny Picos that'll save on shipping because it's only shipping once. There'll be a 4-pack as well, and obviously the price of the board goes down a little bit and you save on the shipping. And then the 2-pack and the 4-pack will also come with some proto boards. So yeah, it's like I'm trying to do, so a single one-off board with the shipping is the worst case because I can't do anything about the shipping, right? I can ship 10 of these for the same shipping cost as one. Fatso Pico. Right now, I'm doing all the assembly myself. So all the shields will come pre-assembled. I'm just going to mute for 1 second. Sorry about that. Fatso version 1. It's really funny. Yeah, it was a bigger board. Yeah, I'll be doing, depending on the quantity, my plan, wait, watch this version on the left. My plan is, yeah, I'll be assembling everything myself unless, because there's no point going to China for under 200 boards, or even under 300 boards. Going to China is yeah, like I can make them faster and cheaper than I can, forgetting about my labour to make them, then I can get them done in China for that quantity. So yeah, that was the original size, and so a lot of the stuff I was planning was this big. Anyone here remember this one? Anyway, it's changed a lot since then. A lot. Including not using that rain sun antenna. So, yeah, I mean, maybe if there was some padding to lift it off the pins, I could possibly do this. And I could make a display shield. Yeah. Oh, actually, hang on. It depends on this. No, I can't because I'm not sure if you can see. Try to get in focus. The pads at the back are too wide. They go into the pin space. Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe I could squeeze it. Maybe I could try. I don't know. But pick and place, you need to make. Yeah, so pick and place is you can sit and solder 20,000 of these. No, I wouldn't do 20. Firstly, I'm not going to sell 20,000 of them, right? I'm going to sell pretty low numbers. That's fine. And I wouldn't. If it was over like 250 boards, I'd go to China. Probably 250 boards is the break-even point for China. The problem with going to China, just so you're aware, and I've got all my quotes and everything ready for China, is the PCBA part's cheap. They only charge you like $1.20, $1.50 to make a board, US, right? For a short run like that, for 200 boards. The problem is, they supply all the parts, and they mark up the cost of the parts. They supply the PCBs, and they mark up the cost of the PCBs. And Then I have to pay shipping to get it back to me, right? And we're talking about DHL shipping. We're not talking about free shipping. Plus, I need to supply them test jigs. And for 200 boards, I need to supply them 2 or 3 test jigs. And test jigs cost me about $220 each to make. So I've got $600 worth of test jigs that directly, I mean, that gets added to the cost of getting them done in China. Moved away from the ceramic container, I thought they were more efficient. No! Absolutely not, they are more efficient. So, this is the best antenna you can get. It's a 3D antenna. So, a ceramic antenna is just a 2D antenna. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. So, this antenna here is just a 2D antenna. It's really no different to a PCB antenna, just smaller. The problem with ceramic antenna, and this is what I didn't really know at the start when I started playing with RF, back when the crow's here. Back when I thought that the RF was easy, and it's not, is that's the wrong orientation for a ceramic antenna. A ceramic antenna needs to be 90 degrees perpendicular from the edge of the ground plane. So the ceramic antenna needs to go this way, and there can't be anything next to it. So all the boards that you see that have a chip antenna or a ceramic antenna that's this orientation, they're just inefficient, right? The Wi-Fi strength you get, even with a matching network, and this is designed to not need a matching network, it's fairly inefficient. It's probably worse than a PCB antenna, unless you do it through correct orientation. This is a 3D antenna. This is by far superior to any other type of antenna right now. Any potential thoughts about an external surface mount antenna connector? So I actually bought a bunch of ULF connectors. The first problem with the ULF connector is the crowdfunding campaign. Is so PCB would work for you given the entire topic to fit the display. What? You didn't remove the ground plane under it? Under which? What? You didn't remove... Under which one didn't I remove the ground plane? Under this one? What? This is supposed to have ground plane underneath it. How high up from the board is the antenna? You're talking about this? So you can look here. It's about... It's a good question. Do I have my calipers here? No, I don't. Well, let's look from the board. It's about 1/2 centimetre. There you go. If you look on the cutting mat, it's about 1/2 centimetre, a bit under 1/2 centimetre. Under the ceramic antenna, there is no ground plane. You can see the edge of the ground plane just here. See that line just there? There's no ground plane under the ceramic antenna. If I sell too many, I'm going to have to upgrade my turntable. Yeah. So, the advantage of this antenna is I can get the matching network's actually underneath. I'm not sure if you can see, maybe from this side. The matching network is actually inside, underneath. So you can do that with this. And you can get things a lot closer. And it's just by far a superior antenna. And there's a lot of boards using these antennas now. And I had misgivings at the start just because of the size difference. But this has got better, the Tiny Pico's got better Wi-Fi strength than my MacBook Pro. Right? If I put this near my MacBook Pro where the Wi-Fi antenna is and do strength tests, this outperforms it by a few dB. So it's pretty cool. Right, now I apologise if I was saying the edge of the ground plane. I meant along here. I didn't mean the edge here. So no, I'm not gonna do the drawing. No drawing. So it has grown on me. I didn't mind the look now. Yeah, look, it's grown on me as well. The downside is it's like this section here is free floating. It's you know, you can bend it if you're not careful. You can absolutely bend. Have I got one that I've bent? I mean, you can bend it back. It's fine, right? But you can see here that it's sitting slightly lower. So because it's a small board and you've got big fingers, you can definitely bend this by accident. You need to be careful. But it's, yeah, really superior strength. Wow. What was I saying? Well, bigger antenna equals bigger signal. No, bigger antenna doesn't mean bigger signal. Correct usage of the antenna means bigger signal, better signal. 3D printer support to fit under here. I don't know. I mean, you could. I guess I don't want to. You can. Yeah, RF is complete black magic. Did not know when I started. Yeah, terrible. Will there be issues with the FCC? There will be no issues for me because these will not be certified. Just letting everyone know, just to be clear, these are development boards. No certification are needed. They're not a consumer product. They're not a consumer facing product. They're I mean, these can't be used for really anything without attaching other things to it. It's sold as a development and prototyping board. So it will not be coming with FCC certification. Just so we're all clear. And continue using a small silicon blob. Well, I mean, people can. I'm not going to. I think that would look terrible to be shipped a board that has a silicon blob holding the antenna in place. Don't get me wrong. I've got stacks of tiny picos lying around, and I've probably slightly bent 2, and I'm pretty rough. Like this board here. And when I say bent, I can bend this up right now, and then I can bend it back in place. You know what I mean? It's not damaged. It's just that you can squish it. I can... Something went bang. So I just squish this a bit now, and you can see it's on a bit of an angle. You might be able to see, right? And now I can grab it and bend it back, and now it's straight. You know what I mean? It's not damaged anyway. The bigger the gob, the better the job. Yeah, put some caulking. Just squeeze caulking right underneath. Yeah, anyway. So it's very hard to damage the antenna, right? You can bend it. If it's bent, it still works, and you can just bend it back into place. Would you need to retune the antenna? I would need to what? Oh, to add silicon. I don't know if you would, really. There's someone next door dropping something, banging something. Maybe, I don't know. The Crow Supply courier is waiting for them, yeah. Seeing the stream has a positive effect on the man flu. Yeah, I know. I can't believe I've got it. Hold on one moment. Wow. There's some serious banging happening outside. I need to let me put these screens away. Before I forget. Yes, so... Yeah, look at that, see? An hour's gone, talking about Tiny Pico, which was not my plan today. Careful not to screw up the SWR with the glue silicon, I agree. Yeah. I think it'd be fairly minimal, but you're right. It would definitely make an effect. So, the thing with RF, the thing with antennas, is any deviation you do, any change you do to the specifications, and they're pretty strict specifications in the data sheets, changes the characteristics of the RF, right? So, I've seen people who have got the antenna the other way around, where the C shape is facing in, because it's easier to get to the antenna pin, right? Now, you can do that, and you could potentially design a matching network that'll work okay with that. But it's completely against the specifications, right? So it's going to affect the characteristics of your RF. And there are some things that you can do that you just can't make a matching network to fix, right? You might be able to match the impedance, the 50 ohms, but if the antenna's the wrong way around, it completely changes the characteristics of the antenna and will change performance. The part number of the regulator. Ooh, mate, you might have to wait till it goes open source. I don't know. The regulator is... Oh, I don't even know if I've got it in front of me now. I'm on Eagle 9. I stay latest all the time in Eagle. So yeah, you'll need 9. I don't know how backward compatibility works with Eagle, but yeah, you'll need 9 something. I'll chat with you later, mate. The deal was, yeah, I wasn't going to release anything until it goes open source. Any information until it goes open source. So, and it is going open source, but until that point, before Bo Holbo Rasmussen forgets, yes, regarding the need for doing polls earlier, you can use something called straw poll. Yeah, I've seen straw poll. But it's not integrated into the chat though, is it? I didn't think straw poll was in the chat. Like you got to run it as a separate thing. J-Man, why are you asking about SAMD21, SAMD51? It's got neither. It's ESP32. Are we asking something else? I'm not sure what the question is. How am I feeling? The cold and flu tablets have kicked in. I think the paracetamol's kicked in, so I'm feeling okay. Bit stuffy, bit nasally. Use the old type 1 if you agree. What? The quiescent current on the LDO is 2 microamps, which is why I'm using this LDO. It's a 700 milliamp LDO, and it's 2 microamp. Very, very low. Yeah, you have to copy and paste the links yourself, yeah. Oh, which do I prefer? I don't have a preference. I think the SAMD51 is an awesome chip. And I have a SAMD51 board here somewhere. I use SAMD21s in a lot of my projects. And I love the SAMD21. My Reflow Master runs off a SAMD21, and yeah, I've done a lot of stuff with SAMD21. But yeah, yeah, 2 microamps is a lot when you're going into deep sleep. Sure, but it's very hard to find a low powered LDO. I mean, so one of my focuses with this board, as many of you will know, and so I've gone through a few revisions. No jokes. Gone through a few revisions, is I wanted this to be a really ultra low power board. So the ESP32 itself can't really get below 10 microamps in deep sleep. That's the lowest it's got. Well, the Pico D4. So the idea, so that's the benchmark, right? Hey, David. I got to drink hot water. I am. This is hot water. Well, it's warm now. It's just got some. Excuse me. It's not cordial. It's just water flavouring. So it was all about low power for me, which has been, you know, and I've been adding things on here that have been killing my low power. So the APA 102 has a crescent current of 1 milliamp. That kind of threw me when I stuck that on the board. Obviously the RAM is anywhere between 100 and 120 microamps for crescent current. You know, it all adds up. And so, I mean, that's another thing with this board. I'm not putting cheap. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of Chinese parts that are great. Like China's really pushing ahead with some really awesome components. My charge IC is a TP. What is it? 4065. Like it's a top power chip. But all the other chips I'm using, like, you know, I'm using good quality, really good stuff to get the lowest power I can get. Alvin needs a debugger, but they're expensive. Yeah, there's some people working on open source debuggers for ARM. There's well, you can use OpenOCD, and there's a fork of OpenOCD that's been done for the ESP32. You need to be using IDF for it though, but that's pretty cool. So be able to use OpenOCD for debugging. Yeah, I mean, I could have gone, you know, a cheap Chinese serial chip on here, and you know, and a cheap LDO, but I would have ended up, you know, I could have saved a couple of bucks off the cost of the board, and I would have had, 60 or 70 microamps for deep sleep instead of the 10. It's pretty good. Excuse me. Anyway, wow. So I am going to keep this a short stream today, everyone. Someone forgot to tell the neighbours I was streaming today, I think. When I say a short stream, my streams are normally 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours. So I will absolutely not be going over 2 hours today. But I did want to play with it with making another shield. Okay, cool. I'll have a look at that. Thanks, Bo. Hope you didn't miss my stream. No, you didn't miss my stream at all, Julian. And I really appreciate you letting people know to come and join this one. Like, I really do. I was actually just going to do like a 1 hour chat and show my shields and talk about the status stuff today, and that was all I was going to do, really, anyway, just because of my head is functioning on about 20% capability right now. So, yeah, my next shield, I feel like I want to do... I'm not going to do it now. I feel like I wouldn't mind doing like a stepper motor driver, maybe, or just a motor driver type shield. Might be nice, using like an 8835, a DRV 8835 driver motor. Maybe with a boost converter on here. Maybe a 5 volts to 12 volt boost converter. Could be cool. So with shield, I don't know, what I wanted to play with was, I don't, like, how many pixels can I fit on a shield? That's the question. Let's have a look and see. I'm curious to know. DMT 1320, what's the TMC 1320? Just making a 4A stepper driver would be awesome. 4 amp. Yeah, I don't know about a 4 amp stepper driver on something this small. So I think might be maybe, I don't know. I don't know how high the DRV 8835 can go. I think it's 2.5, I think. Yeah, the 2.5s, yeah, well, they all get hot. They all need a heatsink. And if you consider that... Oh, again, do I have... Wait, 1 second. My box of stuff. Right. So that's a... Right, wrong screen. Ah, right, Trinamic ones. Sure. So I didn't know what the model number was. Yeah, Trinamic drivers are great. So that's a stepper driver. That's a pretty standard size for a stepper. That's, pretty big compared to the Tiny Pico. So making a shield with a stepper driver is going to be, I think, quite problematic, and it's going to get super hot. Look at the size of the heatsink on that. The 8835, Adam, does it really? Okay. Yeah, look, I haven't had much success with the DRV stuff, to be honest with you. I'm still got issues with my parts picker and my 88, what are they? 882 somethings? No, whatever the stepper drivers are. I probably look at doing my own H-bridge type scenario maybe instead. I don't know. But I think that a stepper or a motor driver is something for another time. I'm just not sure it's the right... I don't know who would want to use that with a Tiny Pico. Like, maybe, I don't know. I feel like anyone that's wanting to put stepper drivers into a project are using something a bit bigger and a bit more robust. Not than this. Then, they're using some type of, like, Goebel shield or something that they're putting steppers on. I don't know. I have to think about that one. Yeah, the project I got back from JLC works. Well done, Paul. Woo. So off topic, how does Santa Claus dress in Australia? I think the same way as everyone else. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so here's my empty shield. I'm just curious to see how many... How many 35. I don't want to use 35s. I mean, APAs I can fit stacks, I think. How many APAs can I fit? Let's have a look. Where is my APA? Okay, I'm just going to stick a couple down just so I can see how many I can fit on the board. The problem with the APAs is they're not cheap. It's worked on version 1. Ah, right, you got a working version 1. Well done, Paul. 1 for 1. Woohoo! Okay. So these are the 2020s. Like, I'm just curious to see how many I could possibly fit. Let's turn my grid on. Get them a bit closer so I can zoom in more. So the grid doesn't look so bad. Oh, that grid looks terrible. Sorry, I'll turn the grid off. Does that grid look okay on the chat? On the stream? Tiny Pico robot car. That's funny, David. Yeah, that's it. Like, so Matto, Gorman, Smith. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I was going to do something like a stepper driver shield, it would have to be a really good one. Like, because there's just so many out there already. You can make nice arrays in here as well. Arrays are super easy in here too, but I don't want to make an array just now. I want to hand place and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 3. I could maybe get 4. So if I don't have the labels on the top, I could probably get 5. I wouldn't want to place them by hand. Yeah, I might be able to squeeze 5. If I turned off the labels. Maybe. But how did you come up with the name? Tiny Pico? So, well, it's a Pico D4 is the chip, and I wanted to make a tiny board. So, for those that don't know, I've got like another board in my tiny range. This is my tiny dev. Oh, wrong screen. No unexpected maker. What? What's no unexpected maker? So this is my tiny dev. This is an AT Tiny 85 board that I made ages ago that I sell on Tindy. And it's designed really to be, I mean, you can, yeah, it's got a programming header. There's 2x3 here. And then on the side here, there's ground VCC and data. It's designed to be a NeoPixel strip driver. And I use this in a lot of my projects. And, you know, a bunch of people have bought them for their projects. They've got power in on this side. So this is called a tiny dev. And I thought I'll stick with a tiny name. I wanted a tiny, so I made a tiny Pico. Here's an idea: shield for home automation with motor drivers for opening curtains in the morning, temp sensors for measuring the outside and inside temperature. Sure, but you can already get stacks of boards like that have already got either a microcontroller on them, or you can plug a D1 Mini into them or something. Like, that wouldn't work as a shield. That would be like a base plate that you plug the tiny Pico into. Not quite what I was, you know. Like, you couldn't fit that on a shield the size of a tiny Pico. You know what I mean? That would be on a pretty decent sized board. that this might plug into. That's what my Nano is for. For those of you that don't know what my Nano is, I'll show you in a moment. Oh, where does my channel name come from? Ah, right. Well, there you go. I went off on a tangent then. I'll put my tiny devil away. So, my unexpected maker, is that what you're talking about? Well, I was chatting with a friend of mine who is in the makerspace, and he... Like I said to him, you know, when I was pretty much finished up with my game dev and I wanted to do something in hardware, I said to him, I want to be a maker. You know, I really want to be a maker. You know, I don't know if I want to... This is before my channel and everything else. And I just don't know what to do. And he turned around to me and said, Sion, you've been making art, making games. You've been building stuff your whole life. You are a maker already. And so I thought to myself, wow, that was unexpected. And so that came up with the name, Unexpected Maker, because I wanted to be a maker. I didn't realise I was a maker. So I'm the Unexpected Maker. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's the name. So, because we've got so many new people here, sorry about all the people who already know any of this. But, back to Bo's question about, you know, like I wouldn't plug this into a controller board, I'd plug this into a controller board. So this is my Tiny Pico Nano. Bye, see you in 30 minutes. So this is an ESP32, exactly the same. It's got onboard RAM. 4 meg of RAM, it's got an LDO, it's got battery charging. Actually, no, it doesn't have battery charging, I lied. It's got an LDO, but it's got the full MOSFET diode circuitry to be able to switch, like if you want to power it from battery. And it's got castellated edges. So this was designed to be a module, to be a Tiny Pico module, that you can stick on a board. Yes, they're all 0402s. They're all 0402s on here, except for the two caps, they're 0603s. No femto. No femto. I'm not using femto, that's yours, Julian. You have that forever. Us old timers are trying to catch them up too. Okay, cool. So, I designed this ages ago as a... You know, something that, you know, that you could put on a board. It's got no USB directly on it, but it's got this set of headers on the side here are programming headers, which you could either, you know, stick it on a board and have USB on your board, or I made a programmer. I don't even know if it's in here. As I said, unprepared. Do I have a programmer here? I do. I designed this programmer to go with it. So this really is the other half of this. And the idea was that you put your USB in there and you use your pogos like... Okay, I can't see with the camera in my face. Like that, and you can program the board. This is called a Tiny Pico Nano. There you go, Tiny Pico Nano. But I don't know if I'm going to do anything with it. I don't know if this is going to progress any further than this prototype. So, we'll see what happens after the Tiny Pico campaign happens. I think, because, you know, if I sell 5... Wow, really? 108 watching? That is awesome. Stuck in time with Eagle 7. Oh no. Gotta upgrade. Eagles come up. Can I tell you something? I know Autodesk get a lot of bashing, and I've been unhappy with them a lot in the past, in my previous life as a game developer, but the team that are running Eagle are just, really, they are kicking some great goals with Eagle. The stuff they're doing to progress as a package, and the features they're adding and everything else, really, really superb. Okay, back to this screen. I just want to see, I mean, they're pretty close. Okay, I'm not going to be able to place them with tweezers. Maybe. Oh, Protel. I wanted to learn, yeah, for those that are new that haven't heard, I wanted to learn Altium. You guys, any idea how much Altium costs these days? Holy moly. It's $10,000 a seat of Altium. And they generously offer a 14-day trial. Mate, do you know they have the SP with... Where's the rest of that comment? Eagle really is great. You know what? Eagle gets dismissed a lot. I think a lot of people think Eagle is... Like, that it's not a professional tool. It was oversimplified. Like, that you can't just get in... I mean, don't get... Like, Altium's got some amazing features. Some stuff that Eagle doesn't have, obviously. But it's super complex to use as well. And, like, Eagle's designed to simplify a lot of this stuff, but I think a lot of people don't like the simplification. I use Altium. I pirated it from work. Naughty, naughty. I didn't hear that. This is a family show. So yeah, like I wanted to learn Altium though, because a lot of places here in Australia use it, but there's just no way I'm spending $10,000 to use a tool that really doesn't give me anything more than Eagle does. I mean, their 3D viewer is beautiful, but Fusion's coming a long way. That Fusion Link, and I use Fusion 360 anyway. Wow, that's going to be really hard to build this, but how many I can get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also going to take a lot of power. Three, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 by 8. I mean, I could do 5 by 9. I might even be able to squeeze 5 by 10, actually. Oh, maybe not. No. So 5 by 8. That's pretty decent size for a shield. Oh, what did I miss? For those that Eagle works for, they progress. Making it awesome. Thank goodness KiCad is also progressing. Yeah, look, I got nothing against KiCad. Version 4 was terrible. I didn't like it at all. It was terrible on the Mac. And it's a bit better now with 5. But yeah, there's some things in KiCad I still don't like, and when they change them and fix them, maybe I'll look at it again. Is Altium when they release? Right, but Circuit Studio doesn't help me. I'm not looking for an alternate tool. I'm looking. The reason I want to use Altium, David, is because it's other people here use Altium. Like if for contract work, they don't use Circuit Studio. Like I need to learn the tool that they're all using here. Unfortunately, Australia is huge with Altium. Altium was designed in Australia, developed in Australia. So they've got a very big user base here. So I have no choice but to learn Altium if I ever want to go do any on-site contract work. Yeah, and it's $10,000, so not going to happen. Yeah, 5 by 7's cool. Yeah, I mean, the Adafruit shields, I think, are 5 by 7. So, yeah, I could definitely do But that's only one character at a time. Only put 42 LEDs on the board. What? 45, 47, what are we talking about? Random question, anyone who used this from 32 before had to do a hard segfault. Nope. Okay, sorry if I'm missing... Sorry if I'm missing any chat. Stick with what suits you. Yeah, look, I love Eagle. Don't get me wrong, and this is a paid version. I'm not using the free version. It's not the full one. It's not premium. It's just the standard. But I'm happy to give them money because they're doing a great job in making a really good tool. But I really want to make a 6-layer board, so I might have to upgrade to premium. Oh, 6 layers, yes. Next is 6 layers. Thanks, Andy. That was muted, right? I hope. This is first rolling. Oh, hello, Maxine Tower D. Yes, yeah, 5x6 can also do. I don't know, I feel like 5x8 might be the way to go. But as I said, APAs are expensive. They're like 37 cents each. The WS, or the SK6812s, the 5050s are like at 10 cents each. And the 3535s are like 14 cents each. See you, David. Thanks for joining. So, yeah, making a shield with APAs on it is going to be expensive. Ah, right, only put 42. Okay, well, sure. I must leave you fellas. Thanks, Bo, Holbo, Rasmussen. Cool name. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Know how you can get your head around 4 layers. Yeah, 4 layers. Yeah, it's. Oh, I'm used to it now. Like, I feel kind of limited with 2 layers all the time. Yeah, but 6 would be very cool. I almost think I could get my Tiny Pico smaller if I went 6 layers. If I was to ever do it again. I don't know. I mean, I've made a lot of revisions, but I'm not prepared to make such a drastic revision right now. And it just doesn't need to be... Matt wants it smaller. Matt always wants... Matt Trentini, who was in the chat before. He was the one that pushed me to do this. And he always wants it smaller and smaller. There's no point making it smaller in length, I think. The only thing would be to make it smaller in width. But I'd have to be a whole pin row header over. See you, Bo. 1 layer's hard. Yes, 1 layer is quite hard too. I've done 1 layer boards before. In fact, if you submit a 1 layer board to JLC PCB, they tell you they can't make it, or they flag it as being unmakeable. The problem is once you get this small, you got heat problems. You know, like there's the ESP32 runs really hot, so everyone's clear. Like, this chip is designed to go up to like 90 degrees. And it gets there when you're using Wi-Fi. So, you know, this is a very small board, even with 4 layers and 2 ground planes. There's really not a lot of place for the heat to get out. It's pretty packed in. So, yeah, like, to make it any smaller is just gonna compound the heat issue, I think. Maybe you could teach a couple of hours at a college and get educated license for Altium. It's not a bad idea, David, except I don't know if I've got anything worth teaching. That wasn't a skill thing, it was I don't know if I could teach. Hey, David, by the way. Yeah, but their education pricing is not good either, I don't think. I don't know. Yeah. The idea also of juggling multiple packages in my head, I don't know, it's gonna be hard. Oh, Unlost Sister goes, what, you have to get up in 2 hours? Holy moly. Thanks for joining. So you're gonna get no sleep. If you get in trouble at work, tell them it's my fault. Yeah, there's a few people using ESP32s as Wi-Fi dongles. Get a gig as a tutor at uni. Yeah. Teaching's what I do. No, I don't think I teach now. I think what I do now is I build and blunder. I design, build and blunder. A lot of blundering. And people might learn from that. That's different to me teaching. What? $99? No way. Is that for actual Altium? Let's find out what Dave just linked to. Education program, invite you to explore the various opportunities. Right, but for which software? That's the problem. Is this for their Circuit software? Circuit Studio? A lot of different transfer of the information. There's a lot of different transfer of information. Right, but it's, yeah. One's about a curriculum, an Altium Designer on-demand license. Right, that's for all the training material. That was their upsell to me, was, but if you buy the license, we'll give you all the free training. Yeah, I really don't know if I need the free training. I learn by doing. I just want to know what the student license gives you. And I bet you can't use it commercially, that's the problem. Altium Design on-demand license. You need a valid email address starting in .edu, ending in .edu. Really? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. It's not going to happen. Altium's not going to happen. That's okay. I'm just staying with Eagle, going to keep doing my own stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just find, I think $10,000 for software is just too old school. You know, I get the software is not cheap to make. But if you want to get people using it, you don't make it $10,000. Student version, probably full product but non-commercial. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to use it really for anything. I have to do a sewing course or something. Sure. Maybe I'll do a making course. I didn't even know I could get an email address with a .edu. Is that a US thing, is it, Matt? Yeah, I've never seen it. I don't know. Okay, folks, my head is starting to pound. Yeah, not in a good way. Like someone's playing really loud music in my head, and it's music I don't like. So I am going to wrap this up. It's gone longer than I thought it was going to, but I'm glad I did it. I was going to like post it. I wasn't going to do the stream today, but I'm glad I did the stream. Do I look blurry? A little? My face looks blurry like my head feels. So, yeah. To all the new people here, thank you again. It was awesome having you here. I hope to see you again in the future. And to all the regulars, yeah. I love you all. You know that. Such a great community of people. And I'm sorry there was nothing really making today. I just really, my head is in a big spin. Thank you again, Julian, for sending people over. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the stream. Subscribed. Yeah, the time zone's not friendly for anyone, unfortunately. I mean, I get up at 5 in the morning so I can stream early on a Wednesday. I try to compromise. Like a 7 a.m. stream for me means I can reach some people in Europe late, but it's better than not at all, I think. So yeah, and I think it gets worse when daylight savings changes back again. So, but anyway, strange time to watch some other YouTube on Tuesday night soon. Oh, strange to have time. Yeah, I know, Rob. You've been busy most Tuesday nights. So thanks for coming past. Thank you all. Now to find that off thing again. Where's my off thing? There it is. Okay, cool. Yes, don't forget to thumbs up, please. That'd be awesome. What? 153 peak concurrent. That is crazy. To all my new subs, awesome. Thanks. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to go to the crowd supply campaign and click register for interest, just to be notified of updates. You're not committing to buy anything, don't worry, but if you go and click the register for interest on crowd supply, you'll be notified when there's more, when more info comes out and when the campaign launches. Anyway, that's it. Bye. Catch you all later. Thanks.